Losing a pet bird can be a deeply emotional experience that you may encounter at some point in your life, unless the bird outlives you. Some birds live a long, healthy life, and some pass away from natural causes, while others pass away suddenly or after a period of illness. Some deaths will be more difficult than other deaths. It will depend on the bond that you have with your bird. I've experienced many losses of pet birds throughout the years of living with a flock of birds. Because of that, I wanted to talk about grief and options on what to do when your bird passes away. First, let's talk about grief. Grief is a normal and natural way your mind and body react. Everyone grieves differently. Some family members may work through their grief sooner than others. Others may need more time. Other flock members may go through grief in their own ways. Some may do contact calls, and others may be depressed or angry that they don't see their flock mate anymore. In some cases, showing your deceased bird to your bird's mate may help with your bird's grief. I done that with one of my linnies that passed away. I had two bonded, beautiful linnies, Merlin and Wizard. When Wizard passed away, I showed Merlin Wizard's body. He stood beside him and looked at him and gave him a nudge and then walked away after a few moments. It was a very emotional day for me. I have also done it with my other birds that were closely bonded, and it seemed to help. When going through grief, you may go through an emotional series of denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial is the first step of grief. You may feel numb and refuse to believe that your bird has passed away, or block out the reality of your bird's passing. Anger is the next step. You may be angry at yourself for not knowing your bird was sick, or you didn't go to the veterinary clinic quick enough. You may blame another person, such as another family member, for not noticing illness. You may be angry at your veterinarian and blame for a wrongful treatment, or blame your veterinarian, especially if your bird passes away at the veterinarian clinic. Then there is bargaining. You may think, if only I had done this or that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, or only if I have done this, then this wouldn't have happened. Depression enters once the reality of your loss of your bird has been realized. Depression is usually the longest and most difficult stage of grief, and it's also when you feel the deepest sadness. You may feel empty, sad, and feel that life will never be the same again. You may say, "It's not fair," or "Why did this happen to me?" You may cry, scream, not want to eat, have trouble sleeping, concentrating, or functioning well. The final stage is acceptance, which means you have come to terms with their death and be able to live without your bird. And this does not mean that you will forget your bird or that the pain goes away. It just means you will always miss them, but the pain will lessen as the days, weeks, and months go by. These are all part of the grieving and healing process, and nothing to be embarrassed by. I have felt all these stages of grief. When my Indian ringneck Rio passed away at the vet's, I blamed my vet and myself, and I suffered depression for a very long time. It's been around 4 years, and I still go through periods of grief, but I got over denial, I got over anger and bargaining, and now can remember the good times we had together. If you're having a hard time with grief, then ask your veterinarian about grieving resources and counseling, or search online for help. I have seen Zoom meetings and phone counseling available for grief of losing a pet. Talking to someone that understands will be of great help. When your bird passes away, you have some options such as having a necropsy performed, cremation, and burial options, or taxidermy. And necropsy is important, especially if the bird has passed away suddenly or after a short illness. And necropsy is also important if you have another flock members to rule out diseases, and it will also give you closure. I have had many necropsies performed as I have other birds, and I need to know why my birds passed away. For closure, it really helps me. And necropsies help me emotionally. Otherwise, I would keep thinking, what did I do wrong? wrong, or why did my bird pass away? And most important, to make sure it wasn't a virus that could be passed on to my other flock members. If you decide to do a necropsy, the bird must be placed in the fridge as soon as possible. Place the bird in a Ziploc or larger bag if it's a larger bird, and then tie off the bag until you can bring your bird to the vet. Do not place the bird in the freezer. The freezer can cause tissue damage and make it impossible for a proper necropsy to be performed. It's best to bring your bird to the veterinarian sooner rather than later. Call your avian veterinarian to discuss the necropsy. Based on the findings, you may need to take action to ensure your other birds remain healthy. After the necropsy, you can discuss with the veterinarian about cremation or burial options which will work for your situation. There are a few options for cremation. One option is communal cremation. It's when your bird is cremated with other pets at the same time. You don't get to keep the ashes, but if you do, they will be mixed with other pets. It's the most affordable option for cremation. Another option is individual cremation. With individual cremation, the pets are kept in semi-private partitions. The ashes are mostly separate, but there might be some mixing. Then there is private cremation. Private cremation is where your bird is cremated privately and you keep the ashes. Private cremation is more costly than communal and individual cremation. There is also witness cremation. Witness cremation will cost an extra fee and be the most expensive. With this, you can view the cremation process. You may need to search for a crematorium that offers this. Is not very common. Call your veterinarian to discuss the cremation, as not all will offer all these methods. After cremation, there are a lot of things you can do with your bird's ashes. You will be able to pick out an urn of your liking. You can keep the urn on a shelf in your home, or you may consider to scatter the ashes or bury them. However, check with your bylaws to ensure it's allowed. There are also jewelry, such as necklaces, bracelets, so you can wear it close to your heart, and there might be other jewelry options. Check with your veterinarian for urn options. You may have to seek out other crematoriums if your vet does not offer the options you are looking for. For burial options, if you opt out on cremation, you can bury your bird on your property if bylaw allows it. I don't suggest going this way if you don't own the property or are going to sell your property only to leave your bird behind. Also, if you have dogs that like to dig, it may not be a good idea to bury your bird. There are also pet cemeteries that offer burials and spreading of their ashes on their property. The last option is taxidermy. Taxidermy is where your bird is preserved. Just because your bird is no longer alive doesn't mean you can't keep them around. Although it's not for everyone, taxidermy is a great way to preserve your bird so you can keep them close to your heart. Taxidermy can be costly and can take many months to perform. Honoring their memory is a great way to always remember your bird. Your bird was a member of your family, so it's only right to honor their memory in the way that feels like a good fit for you and your bird. Some ways to honor your bird could be getting a tattoo or planting a tree in their honor. You can hang pictures of them on the wall or have a professional do a portrait or painting of your bird. Remember that grieving the loss of a beloved pet bird is a deeply personal journey. The stages of grief are natural, and there is no right or wrong way to go through them. Whether you choose a necropsy, cremation, burial, or even taxidermy, it's important to make the decision that feels right for you and your bird's memory. Your feathered friend was a cherished member of your family, and honoring their memory in a way that brings you comfort is a beautiful tribute to the bond you shared. Cherish the memories and know that with time the pain will ease, but the love for your bird will always remain in your heart. Take care.